Good evening, everyone. We'll speak about a few different things. Few interesting things we'll speak about tonight. And we are, in this parashot that we see the conflict between Yaakov and Esav, and all the tricks that Lavan made to trick Yaakov when finally he got to his house, and all these tricks ended up 20 years working. 7 years for Leah, 7 years for Rachel, 6 more years for the sheep, and still Lavan had complaints in the end. And we find that Yaakov had to get what he deserved by playing tricks. By putting these sticks and let the sheep, when they go to drink, to see what's on the sticks. So that's affecting what kind of babies they're going to have. You can see, that's very interesting, because first thing, there's a Gemara that says that Rabbi Yochanan was a very, very good looking man. Very pretty. Supposedly he didn't have a beard. Some men don't have beard, like the Latino. Some people, their faces. So his face was very clear, and he was very, very pretty. How do I know he didn't have a beard? Because when he went to swim in a lake, the head of the gangster, Rish Lakish, thought he's a woman. So that means he was such a pretty face, he had a big beard, how can you think it's a woman? It has to be that he didn't have a beard. So either way, that Rabbi Yochanan was sitting by the front, by the mikveh, by the gate. And every woman goes into the mikveh, first thing she sees when she comes out of the mikveh, she looks at his beautiful face, and the babies are born pretty. So Gemara asks, so what do we learn from here right away? That the first thing that a woman sees after she comes out of the mikveh is affecting her baby. If tonight she's going to conceive, that's going to affect her baby, which is very interesting. How many people in the world knows it? So that's why some people make sure when their wife goes to the mikveh that they never let her take a cab, that she sees some kind of a goy driver or anything like this. Even if they work, they take night off or whatever the case is, to make sure the first thing his wife sees is him. He comes, he pick her up. That's one thing. Now, the Gemara asks how Rabbi Yochanan wasn't afraid of Ayin Hara. So many women look at him and think, what a nice face this man has. How many years you're going to live with this kind of Ayin Hara? So the Chachamim ask him, you're not afraid of Ayin Hara? So he said, no, I'm from the family of Yosef, descendants of Yosef. He knew that 1300 years before, his grandfather was Yosef HaTzadik, Joseph in the Torah. And the bracha that Joseph got is that Ayin Hara doesn't affect his descendants. So that's the story. So from here we see that it's affecting what the person sees. Needless to say, by the animals also. And by the animals, when they see a certain image, it's affecting. But I've seen that one of the explanations for that Yaakov saw in Ruach HaKodesh, in Nevuah, what's going to be born. And based on that was the whole agreement with Lavan. But the truth is that we know that no matter what Lavan would choose, it will go to Yaakov's side. Same thing when the people were dying, Moshe had a stick and a shape of a snake, because they were beaten by snakes, so he made them look at that, and it's affected their health. You can see that what we see basically affecting us. That's one of the reasons why the Torah is so strict about what a man is seeing. Also a woman, but by a man is very critical. Because one bad look that a person sees, one dirty look in a movie, one dirty picture, one dirty things on the street, you cannot erase it from his CD. That's it. It's in his subconscious recorded. When the person made tshuva, he became real tzaddik, he got married, he's 100% devoted to his wife, he's faithful, everything is fine, but the things are inside his head, and it's affecting him in his life. I know a man, a fantastic person. When he came to the yeshiva, I was learning in my shiur Gemara. It was mamash in a very, very low level when he came to the yeshiva, 8 years ago. So he came right to my shiur, and he was, this kind of people that have mercy on themselves. They want you always to give them a good word. and to push them and to have a pity on them, this kind of person. Right away I saw with this kind of guy, if you're always going to have to give him attention and tell him no, don't worry, it's not so bad, you'll be better, it will never work, it's going to take years. So right away I became very, very strict with him, and I told him, listen, you're not impressing me by playing dumb. Just read the Gemara. I said, I don't know how to read Gemara. I said, read. So he read like a fool. So I said, now you read again. So what, you're embarrassing me in front of everyone? I said, no, you read until you know how to read. 3 times he read, that day he learned how to read. That's it. In maybe 20 minutes. It could have taken 20 minutes, it could have taken 6 months. Because it's depend on the mind of a person. You came to get attention, you're always going to do everything that needs to get attention. Either you make yourself a fool, you make yourself needs help, people have mercy on you. It's psychological. Why am I telling you the story about this guy? Not for the reading. So he came to yeshiva. He was a big macho guy. Was a bodyguard in a club or something. Very big, strong guy. Believe me, if he give you one punch, you don't get up. For sure. That's how, strong. He made a lot of sins in his life. One day he becomes Baal Tshuva. He comes to learn Gemara, Torah. It's very difficult for him. But the most important thing that I told him, listen, the most important thing, you know Gemara, you don't know Gemara. No. The most important thing, you have to take advantage on the years that you sit in yeshiva to change your personality. To lower your anger, your ego. You work on your negative. And this is a person who worked on himself. Getting up in the morning, working very hard, working on his midot, and slowly changed and became a Ben Torah. Even when he left the yeshiva and he moved out of Muncie, and he opened up a restaurant somewhere in a town, he still every day learn. In the morning, sometimes 11 o'clock after the lecture, I call him. He said, I'll call you in 10 minutes. I'm still in the middle of shiur. Serious guy. Why am I telling you the story about him? Because every date I got him on, he cannot get married. From all the dirt that he has in his mind from all the years, even though you became a tzaddik, you're a generous person, you learn Torah, you give tzedakah, but so I say to him, it cannot be that all the things from so many years ago still affecting you, that every girl you go out with, you don't like her. This is not ugly girls, it's okay girls, It cannot be. So he said, I'll tell you the truth, in my work, I still see a lot of girls. I'm a single guy, in my 30s, and when I go, I do catering, I do parties, I do these things, I see all these fancy women with their shaders and the single ones, and all these beautiful women, and every time I go on a date, I compare this girl to what I've seen. Understand? Because he go to fancy places, obviously see a lot of pretty women, and it's ruining his life. What he see ruins his life. Because every time he comes to finally he wants to connect to a woman, what's preventing it? The dirt that he see. Why do you think that Torah just was so strict about what you see? What you see ruins your life, or save your life, depending what you're looking at. You look at the holy things, it makes your life better. You look at the dirty things, you look at the statue. Somebody worship a Buddha. You look at that, it's already affecting you. Some tzaddikim, if they pass by a church, they spit on the floor, they don't even look. A place of avodah zarah, they make a bracha. Baruch ha'oker avodah zarah me'olamo. Bless you, the one who will take from the foundation all the idols, worshippers, places from the roots. Get it out of this world. Which means one day when Mashiach comes, they'll purify the world. And Hashem and Mashiach. So that's what's going to be. So either way, so Yaakov needed to play tricks with Lavan to get what he deserved anyway. And that leads us to a very, very common question. What happened if a person borrowed money from you, I don't know, $1,000, and it's 6 months, 10 months, 12 months, he's not paying back. Now we're not talking a person that is poor, he still needs to borrow more money just to survive because he cannot feed his children. Not a person like this, you cannot even pass near him in the street for him not to be embarrassed. Nevertheless, to call him or to check with him, oh, do you have the money to return to me? It's a sin. A person is poor, doesn't have the money to return, you don't put pressure on him. We are not talking about this kind of guy. We're talking about a guy that just ordered a new BMW and is going on a trip with his wife, and is, when he goes to Israel, he takes his whole family, $10,000 tickets, and, he seems to have plenty of money. So why is not paying back the money? Because he's a Rasha, not paying back. Now the question is, am I allowed to get the money out of him with tricks? It's my money. That's what the Gemara is speaking about. Avid inish dina lenafshe. If a person makes a din, judgment to himself, can you act like a judge to get what you deserve? Now this question split to two. If you say yes, when? When it comes to your hand, accidentally, let's say somebody sees you on the street, hey, I owe Moshe $1,000, can you give it to him? I know you live in his neighborhood. Say, yeah, sure, you take it. Oh, you owe me $1,000, Baruch Hashem, here I got it. Right? In that case, maybe yes. Or, if I have an opportunity to enter into his house and take it, let's say I see from the window that he has his wife's wallet over there, whatever, and nobody is at home. I come in from the window, I take the $1,000 and I go out. I don't take more, not allowed. No interest, no penalty, nothing. I just take what I deserve. Or, what happens if there's no money? Maybe I can take something that's worth $1,000 from there. I don't know, a vase, anything, right? Could be something that's worth $1,000. All these questions the Gemara is speaking about. It's not so simple. So, the Gemara is speaking about this. Let me give you a few examples from life. First, there was a case in Yeshiva. There are two people that lives in the same dorm. One lended money to the other person, and now all of a sudden that person denies. What are you talking? You're confused. It wasn't me. Then it was, 500 shekels, something like this in Israel. And now somebody found him and gave him, he said, oh, are you learning in the same yeshiva with this guy? Oh, I have to send him money. His father, the father of the other boy. So he gave him a few music CDs, and plus, music CDs, and plus he gave him 500 shekel. That's what happened. Now he came to the Rosh Yeshiva, he said, look, the CDs, I'll give it to him. I'll put it in his drawer, whatever. But the money, he owes me this money. So can I keep the money or no? What do you think? What do you think the halacha is? It's knowing 100%. Now let me read you the Gemara. The Gemara says in Masechet Baba Kama, page 27, this is machloket between Rav Yehuda and Rav Nachman. There's an argument between Rav Yehuda and Rav Nachman. If a person can judge for himself and repossess something that this person owe him, whatever we just speak about, and the Shulchan Aruch made the psak halacha, like who? Like Rav Nachman, that a person can do it. The halacha, every time you have an argument in a Gemara, one person say aloud, one person say now aloud, or two people arguing about something, anything in a Gemara. How do we know who is right? The answer is we will never know. Until Eliyahu Navi will come, we will never know who was right and who was wrong. But we don't care so much who was right and who was wrong. We don't really care. We don't care so much who was right and who was wrong. Why we don't care? Because once the Gemara made a psak halacha, the Gemara reached a verdict. The Gemara say halacha is like this, Rabbi. That's the end of the arguments. There's no more arguments once again until, we have it in Shulchan Aruch, there's nobody argue. What's the halacha? That's the halacha. Maybe when Eliyahu Hanavi come, we will show to us that the other rabbi was right. No, maybe that was the case. It doesn't really matter. What do we care? The Gemara said that we go based on the halacha. And what's the halacha? The halacha is like this, Rabbi, and finished. So, it's very interesting. Why it's very interesting? Because from here we learn that the truth of the Torah is in the hand of people. Are you following me or no? I have a feeling that you're not following what I say. The halacha of the Torah It's like putting a diamond. It's putting a diamond in the hand. It's in the hand of the artist, and he has to design the diamond now. What does he have? He has a raw material. Diamond doesn't have a shape, color, nothing. It's a piece of stone. If you see it on the street, you won't even pick it up. All right? This person will decide how to make the diamond. A heart shape, pear shape, round, marquise. There's all kinds of shapes. And obviously each shape costs more or less than the other. Plus, if he's going to cut it equal, symmetric, etc., right? He will decide the price of the diamond. Same thing here, the Torah. Hashem gave us the Torah 70% like raw material in the hands of the Chachamim. And then he says, sit and learn and make halachot. You determine the law. You want to make halacha, it's allowed, that's how I judge the people. You say that it's not allowed, that's how I judge the people. It's interesting. It's not so simple here. Hashem puts the Torah in the hand of the Chachamim. Every one of us could have been one of these Chachamim. Well, in our generation it's not relevant anymore, but I'm talking 2,000 years ago, there's a very big Chachamim where all their life was sitting and learning Torah and do nothing else. In generation that they didn't have the dirt that we have, no electronic, no electric, none of these things. All these people did all their life from the minute they remember themselves sitting and learning Torah. So the point is very simple. The Torah, the halacha, if you have to kill a person, or if you have to let him go, it's the decision of the Chachamim. They have arguments about every subject that you can think of in a Gemara. Thousands of arguments. And in the end they reach a decision. And that decision is allowed or not allowed, and based on that the Shulchan Aruch posek, and end of story. So here is a perfect example. What Rabbi say? If somebody owe you money, or somebody stole money from you, you know the exact amount, and that money fell into your hand accidentally, somebody gave it to you to give it to him, and now you have it in your hand, it belongs to him, you take it to yourself, he said it's perfectly fine, as long as you don't take more. The other rabbi said, no, you're not allowed to do it, you have to go to Beit Din. You have to go to Beit Din, you say, here is the money, I'm supposed to give it to him, but I don't want to give it to him. Why? Because he owes me money. You have to bring your witnesses or your agreement, and then the Beit Din has to decide what to do with the money. So the halacha is like Rav Nachman. You don't have to go to Beit Din. It came to your hand. If you know 100% it belongs to you, you keep it. No, let's continue. So the Gemara continue. The Gemara says, Ben Bagbag, that's another one of the Chachamim. His name is appearing in Pirkei Avot. He said, you don't have to enter into your friend's house if he owes you money like a thief. Don't enter from the window, from the roof. Because if you enter like a thief to get what's yours, right? You see it from the window that he stole your jacket, whatever. You see it over there inside the house. You want to go get it. You don't have permission to enter to his house. So he said, I'll enter from the window. If I knock on the door, he won't let me in. So I'll go from the back door or whatever. I get it and I run out. He said, don't do it. Why? Because the people who see it will hold you as a thief. They'll think you are the thief. Nobody knows the whole story. So the answer is, he said, don't worry. Just enter the door. If he doesn't want to let you in, just break his teeth and go in and get it. This is Torah. It's not jokes here. Shvor et shinav. In front of everyone. Push him in, come in and take what's yours. No. No.
But you're not allowed to raise a hand.
Ve'emor lo. If he resists, you're protecting yourself. You didn't come to hit him. You want to come in, he wants to hit you, that's a different story. I'm protecting myself. The Torah didn't say to be a fool. Many Jews think that to be a tzaddik means to be an idiot, to be a fool. Let people step on your head, take advantage on you. Nowhere in the Torah that's what it says. No. The opposite. What's yours is yours. So, what does it really mean? The Chachamim argue about the meaning of the words of Ben Bagbag. Did he mean it literally? If you need to give him a punch, you give him a punch. Is that what he meant? Or what he means is, Shvor et shinav means you go to Beit Din and do it over there. That's the question. But one thing everyone agree. If he stole money from you and you took money, it's perfectly fine. If he took something, for instance, I give you a red vase, and you want to take the same exact one, that's no problem. The argument is, if you cannot find what he stole from you, something else, but it has the same value. Let's see, this worth 1,000, and the green one worth 1,000. You cannot find the red. I don't know what he did with that. Maybe he sold it. So the argument is, if you can take something that is equal, yes or not, it's an argument. Why? So if it's an argument, what's the rule? If an argument is an equal argument, you cannot do it, for the doubt that maybe is not allowed. So if it came to your hand, you can take it. But to go and get it on your own, you cannot do it. But remember, if it's money, or if it's the same object that belongs to you, you know 100% it's mine, you're even allowed to take it, and that's the halacha. That's the story here with Yaakov Avinu. Yaakov deserved, he worked for it, but he knows who he's dealing with. 500 years ago, the Alshech HaKadosh, it was the yeshiva of the Ari HaKadosh, all the big names in one generation. The Alshech was giving a drasha, and he described 100 tricks that Lavan did to Yaakov. What's the name of Lavan? Lavan Arami. If you play with the letters, what's the name? Naval, crook, Naval, Aramai. Naval, well, you know what's Naval? Menuval. It's despicable. It's a despicable crook. That's really his name. Lavan Arami, Lavan from Aram, from the country that's called Arami. But if you play with the order of the letters, it becomes Naval Aramai. No coincidence. That's what he was. So the Alshich was describing 100 tricks that Lavan did to him all these years that Yaakov was working by him. And the Ari HaKadosh was sitting there, he has Ruach HaKodesh, and he was laughing. In the middle of Shiur, he looks up to the ceiling and he laughs. So they ask him, why are you laughing? He said, when you were giving a lecture about Lavan, I saw his spirit right above you. And everything that you described, he was saying, it's true, I did that. But when we come to one of them, he said, no, he was screaming, no, this one I did not do. It bothered him. He tricked him 100 times. One of the things that he described the Alshech, he didn't know. You know, speaking about the Alshech, when Alshech gave a drasha, he gave a speech in Tzfat. They all lived in the city of Tzfat. So, you know, one time he said to the people, you know, if you really trust Hashem, you don't have to kill yourself working. You don't have to. You trust Hashem, everything that you need to make, you make. So there was an older person that worked all his life very difficult. And this person has a donkey. And he works, you know, with the donkey. It's like a mover. He puts things on his donkey. He takes it from one place to the other. People give him few pennies. And that's how he survives. So he came home. He said to his wife, listen, from now on I don't go to work anymore. I go sit next to the Chachamim in yeshiva. All day I listen to Torah. So his wife told him, what, are you crazy? You work for all your life. We're hardly making it. Now you want to quit work? What are we going to eat? So he said to her, I don't understand. This rabbi, his name is Alshech HaKadosh, the holy Alshech. That's his name. If he said that if you trust Hashem, you don't have to work, you have doubts about it? Let's follow his words. She said, okay, you are the man. Whatever you want to do, do. Like this, it doesn't work. They have little money that they made before that. For 2-3 weeks, they have what to eat. The money ran out. No money. Now she said to him, no, we need to buy food, to go to the market, to buy some wheat. What are we going to do? He said, listen, I know it takes time, but I'm going to sell the donkey. She said to him, you're crazy? If you sell the donkey, even if one day you change your mind, you won't be able to go back into business. What are you going to do without the donkey? Where are we going to buy a new donkey? This is our life, this donkey. He said to her, I don't care. The rabbi said that the Torah promised that if you have emunah in Hashem, you don't have to worry. I'm not worried. He sold the donkey. To who? To two Arabs. What's their job? They look for gold in the mines. They dig in the mines. They look for gold, silver, gold, whatever. That's their job. He sold them the donkey. Then 2 or 3 months he has enough money to eat from the money of the donkey. The money ran out. He sits home, his wife, "You crazy, why did I let you do it?" She goes crazy, you know. So she go crazy. He say to her, "Listen, I don't know why you're getting upset at me. I don't know what you're so angry. You don't trust Hashem? What's the problem? Have patience. We're not going to die. We won't starve." 2 or 3 days, there's nothing to eat. They're literally hungry in the house. Continue to go to the yeshiva. All of a sudden, he looks from his window. He sees the donkey is coming with a huge bag on his back, tied with ropes. Donkey, he comes to his donkey. "How are you? I missed you." He opened the bag. He see the bag is full of pieces of gold. You know, when you find in a mine, you know, they go to Arizona to look for gold. So if you have pieces of gold, that's what it is. It's full of gold. Apparently what happened, these two Arabs, since they bought the donkey, every day they worked 12, 14 hours to look for gold. Just when they were digging in the mines collapsed on their heads. And they both died. And the donkey saw for an hour or two, nobody comes. Where does he know how to go? He goes to where he's used to all these years. 20 years, he goes to the same place. So he came to this Jew. So the Jew saw it, said to his wife, "You see? Why do you worry so much?" It's all about emunah. But there's breaking points. What do you think? Hashem say, "Yes, s'il vous plaît, no problem, my son. You trust me? You quit work? Okay, as of tomorrow, I double your salary." If that was the case, everyone will do it. The idea is that Hashem is putting you almost burying you as deep as possible. Just when you think, that's it, I can't take this anymore, the salvation begins. Same thing with Avraham Avinu. How many years Avraham Avinu was put in tests until Hashem agreed to give him the promises and to make the covenant with him? What do you think, it was a year or two? Since he was a little kid, until when he was 52, he started to teach about Hashem in the world. In that period of years, he was still being tested. The test of the Akedah was when he was 99 years old. Still Hashem tested him. Avraham Avinu. It's serious. How many years Avraham Avinu lived?
137?
No.
175.
Very good. 175. 175, that means 99 years is half of his life already, and Hashem is still testing him. But he discovered Hashem when he was a little kid. He began to see what's going on in this world. So most of his life he was in a test, until Hashem agreed to make all these promises with him. Same thing here, everybody asks this question, Rabbi, I don't know what's my purpose in life. To keep Shabbat, every Jew keep. To put tefillin, every Jew puts. Modesty, the whole world is obligated to keep. No, to eat kosher, every Jew is doing it. To work, to make a living, everyone has to work. No, so what is my purpose in life? How do I know what I have to be? Maybe I have to be a rabbi. Maybe I have to be a doctor. Maybe I have to be a Baal Chesed to feed the poor. I don't know. Plus, that's a general purpose of myself. What about individually? What Hashem expects me to correct? What is my tikkun, like they say in Hebrew? What do I have to correct in my soul? My anger? My jealousy? What's the reason God put me here? Maybe I'm a violent person and that's my tikkun to get out of it? Maybe my tikkun, b'chlal, it's not that, it's to be a millionaire and to give tzedakot. Maybe my tikkun is mainly to watch my eyes, not to look at the ladies on the street. What is my tikkun? I don't know. I'm confused. I keep Torah, I even learn Torah every day, and I don't know what I'm doing here. Good question, huh? I'm probably thinking about the same thing every day. What are we doing here? What does the Zohar say, you know? And plus the Ramchal and the Ari and all the famous Kabbalists. To know what's your tikkun in this life, my friend, you have to kill yourself to sweat, to break yourself 100% to pieces until Hashem agree to show you your tikkun. What do you think? You go like this, Hashem, tell me, no, what do you want me to do? Okay, no problem, that's the problem, no problem. It doesn't work that way. You're better than Avraham Avinu. How much Avraham Avinu went through until he understood what's his purpose in life. Avraham Avinu. You better than him? Not to talk about all the other ones. And all the Kabbalists, the Mekubalim, they write that they work on certain things for so many years until they saw the light. And that specific thing, in the learning, in the behaving, in their marriage, in finding their shidduch. This is it. So what's going on over here? You know, a person has to beg Hashem every day. Besides the learning, besides the prayers, a person has to beg Hashem every day to show him what's my tikkun. Every day to pray. If you don't pray, there's nothing you can do in life. I'll give you an example about the power of the prayers. You know that Moshe Rabbeinu had an argument with Datan and Aviram. Two wicked people. Datan and Aviram. Datan and Aviram, they rebel against Moshe with Korach. And Moshe wanted to make peace with them. He didn't agree right away that they'll die and they'll bury. So he sent someone to call them. The Torah says he sent someone to beg them to come. Moshe is asking to speak to you, to make peace. Come. So they say, Lo na'aleh. We don't come. So he says, he begged them to come. In the end, they didn't want to come. So they are humiliating Moshe Rabbeinu. Imagine the president is sending to call one residence, two residents, and they tell the guards, no, who is he? We're not coming, we don't care. If it would happen in Iran, I don't have to tell you what they do to them. They'll never be able to have kids ever again, that's for sure. If you know what I mean, what they do to them over there. If it would be in Syria, same thing. In Iraq, same thing. Everywhere there will be. You speak like this to the king, it's the end of your life. So, that's not what Moshe did. Moshe started to beg Hashem, when I sacrifice my sacrifice, and they sacrifice theirs, I'm begging you, please don't accept their sacrifice. Al tish'el minchatam, Moshe said. Don't accept their mincha, their present, their korban, the sacrifice. How can it be? I don't understand. If I argue with a person, I'm the leader, that everybody heard me speaking to Hashem, millions of people heard God is nominate me to be the leader, the most important person in history, the most important person in history, in all trillions of people that lived here since the beginning of the world until now, is the most important person. Nobody argue about this. So, if Moshe Rabbeinu is the most important person, Hashem speaking to him face to face. All the other prophets were through dreams and visions. Just face to face in different scenarios. What was he worried about? That in this argument, Hashem will go with them and not with me. Why? Because he knew what a prayer can do from now until tomorrow. They stand and pray, even wicked, they can turn everything around. I know a friend, he's been through a lot in his life. And he told me, and this is true 100%, he repeated it a few times. He says, I do a lot of bad things. I'm not 100% honest. You know, I make my sins. He's not trying to claim that he's holy. But every time I have a problem, I go into the room, I close the door, and I begin to scream with tears to Hashem. And in moments, within short period of time, everything turns around to good. This is his power, the power of prayer. But he prays, you should see how he prays. The whole house is shaking, screaming, crying. And Hashem turns it around for him. Today is finished, tomorrow morning the sun is shining. Everything turned around. And he has such trust in these prayers that he is already, it's like taking it for granted already. I have a problem, no problem, by tomorrow it will be over. Why? I already know how Hashem is handling life with me. This is a level. It's not simple. So anyway, Moshe is afraid that Hashem will accept the prayers. Let's go back to what we started with. I'll give you an example. You know, speaking about the president, today in our days we don't have kings like the time of the Torah. The Torah said that the nation of Israel wanted a king, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, make a king. There's an argument, it was a mitzvah to make a king, or what's an option? Like some of the things in life. You choose to stand, you want to sit, who cares? You can sit, you can stand, nobody cares. Nobody holds it as a mitzvah or a sin. If you stand or you stand. If you wore this kind of jacket or a different jacket, it's not a difference. It's not a sin, it's not a sin. You can do whatever you want. Some things are optionals in life. Not everything is a mitzvah or a sin. So over here, they want a king. Does Hashem agree with that, or it's a mitzvah to have a king? Why? What's the advantage of having a king? We see from the halachot of the Torah that Hashem gave so many instructions to the king. The king has to go with a Sefer Torah of his own everywhere he go. What's his obligation? He has to learn in this Torah everywhere he go. He goes now to his uncle, he holds the Torah with him. He go to the war in his carriage, he holds the Torah with him. And the Torah said that he will learn in this Torah all the time. What's the purpose of that? That he will never feel higher than the nation. It will bring his ego down. The power of the Torah. That's why he's obligated to go with the Torah everywhere he go. Today we don't have kings. What do we have? We have presidents. So I tell you a story that happened here in America. One girl, every day she comes late to school, public school. American Goya girl. So her teacher got tired of her. Last warning, she continued to come late. One day she comes late, she said, take your stuff and get out of here. You're done with us. Don't come back to school. She threw her out. Her parents coming, calling, begging, nothing works. I had it. She cannot come back into the class. This girl, she sent a letter to the President of the United States. Maybe you heard that story. It was a famous story. Believe it or not, I don't know who was the president. Maybe Clinton, maybe Bush the father. It's not such an old story. It's recent. And he had a pity on the girl, and he sent her a letter back. And the letter said, dear teacher, I know you have your point, and I know you're right, and I know I'm not good, but I am the President of the United States is asking you to give her one last chance to return into the class, and I would really appreciate if you accept her back to the class, whatever his name was. Well, the girl got the letter, right away she runs to the school. What are you doing here? Don't worry, wait, read. The teacher saw the thing. Okay, come, you can come back. The girl went back home. Her father comes and says, oh no, what happened? She said, well, I became the queen of the school. Who is your president? Is your uncle? How do you get that letter? I became very important. So her father told her, you fool, where is the letter? She said, the teacher took it. She said, no, this letter worth millions. Get it out of here. So the next day she comes to school. She said, where is the letter? You didn't give it back to me. So the teacher said, I'm sorry. It was made up to me, addressed to me. Dear teacher. The girl said, no. It was made for me, to get me back in the class. They began to argue and they ended up in court. The father knew this letter worth fortune. You can sell it on eBay. How many fools will stand online to buy it? You can buy a new house with this. So who's right? Well, according to the Torah, who's right? The teacher or the girl? The teacher come to court. First of all, she's holding the ticket, the letter. We have something in halacha that two people are arguing for an item and there's no ability in the court to prove to who it belongs. I don't know. He claim I found it, he claim I found it, he claim it's mine, he claim it's mine, he took it from me, the other one say no, he took it from me. No, how are you going to know? There's no witnesses. The one who holds it stays with that. Because he don't change the situation right now. The judge has no ability to get it out of the hand of Reuven and give it to Shimon without a proof. So the one who's really holding it is staying with that because of the doubt. If he's a crook, when he comes to Hashem, he'll take care of him, don't worry. He'll get his punishment. But the judge has no power to get it out. So technically, they're arguing, and the teacher has the letter. So what's the verdict? What do you think? Huh? What do you say, Isaac? Who deserves to get the letter?
I think the teacher.
The teacher? What do you say? You agree? Huh?
Teacher.
What do you say? Huh?
The teacher, because the president wrote it for her. Yeah.
Teacher.
Teacher.
So technically, you're all right. In fair thinking, the letter says, "Dear teacher," whatever her name was. Her name appears on the letter. But if we would go back to the President of the United States that wrote that letter and ask him, when you wrote the letter, you addressed it really to who? To help the girl, that was on your mind? Or for the teacher that threw her out of school to benefit from it and one day to make money out of your letter? If they ask him, who do you want to end it up with the letter that one day they can make money out of it? The girl or the teacher? What do you think he would say? Who did he really do a favor to?
Of course the girl, yeah.
The girl.
But technically he did.
So technically they brought this case to the yeshiva of the Dayanim to decide according to the Torah who deserved to keep the letter. And there was an argument, it wasn't so clean. In the end, he said that we have to go to the mind of the person who writes the will or gives an order. If the order is not clear, we have to see what was on his mind when he wrote it. As I gave you, I believe, last week, an example of a father who wrote a will, and he said that for his son to divorce his wife, the only way I give you the $2 million is 5 sons, $10 million, if you divorce her. And the boy, he likes the wife, he doesn't want to divorce her, so he wants to get a $2 million also. So the father wrote, if he doesn't divorce her, he get only $2,000. So the day that the lawyer called all the brothers, in Israel this case, so right away, he ran to Beis Din and gave her a get. He went, he took his $2 million. The next day, he returned her back. He married her again. So the brothers sued him. Said, give us back the $2 million that you took. It belongs to us. There are 4 other brothers. They want $500,000 each. So he said, why? I fulfilled our father's order. What did he say? He said that I have to divorce her in order for me to get the money. I divorced her and I got the money. What happens after? It's not nobody's business. They say, no. When the father wrote it, what was on his mind? To get rid of her for 2 hours? For that he's giving you $2 million? To get rid of her for eternity. That's what's on his mind. He's going crazy in his grave right now, seeing her driving a new car. and he had to return the money. That's what the verdict they reached. He had to give back the money. Speaking about get, from all the words in the world, why the Torah decided to call this word get? There's no meaning to this word. 2 letters, get. Why get? The Torah really says Sefer Kritut, a book of cutting. Cutting between 2 halves. Oops, finished. But everybody calls it get. So there are 3 explanations why the name of it is get. First, that when they write a get, the sofer with his feather, whatever, it's 12 lines. Get is numeric value 12. So 12 lines. Okay, that's a hint in the name. Second reason is when you look at the entire Torah, there's 304,805 letters, you will never find 2 letters, one after the other, that gives you Gimel and Tet. Never. There's no Gimel attached to Tet in the whole entire Torah. Why? These 2 letters hate each other. Separation. It's a sign of separation. Comes the Chachamim and say very nice, but there are 2 other combinations that appear like this in the Torah, that doesn't appear in the Torah. What are they? Gimel and Kuf. You'll never find Gimel and Kuf in the Torah, one after the other. And you will never find Zetz, Zayin and Tzadik. You never have Zayin and after that Tzadik in the Torah. After Zayin is always going to be a different letter, but never Tzadik. Same thing, Gimel, you never find after Gimel Kuf, you never find after Gimel Tet. Why from the 3 combinations they chose get? The answer is because that's the first one. It goes by the alphabet. What comes before? Gimel Tet, together 12. Gimel Kuf, together 103. Zayin Tzadik, it's 87. So that's the first number. It's in the right order, so they chose that one. But now I'll tell you the real secret. When a husband and wife living together, how do you call the together in Hebrew? How do you say together in Hebrew? Beyachad, right? Beyachad. Beyachad means together. Beyachad has bet, chet, right? Bet, yud, chet, daled. If you want to cut this word to pieces, how would you cut it? Bet, what comes after bet? Gimel. So you push gimel over there. What comes after the chet? Beyachad, right? Beyachad. So you put gimel, you cut. What comes after the chet? Tet. You push gimel, you put tet, that cuts the beyachad. It separates the together. Understand? There are a lot of secrets inside the words, inside the Torah, that shows us everything has a reason, nothing is coincidence. One other thing, speaking about Beis Din and courts, I have another interesting story for you to decide what you think. A person, a thief, he went and stole a car. This is all true stories that happen in reality. That's what makes it great. Things that happen in a Beis Din in Eretz Israel. They publish them in books. One thief went and stole a car. He drove the car 15 minutes. He left the car on and he went into a little store to buy whatever he wanted to buy, drink or cigarettes, whatever. There were 3 minutes that he was inside the store. He came out, the car exploded. Apparently the owner of the car, the mafia in Israel, was on top of his head and they wanted to kill him, so they attached a bomb to the car. Now, when this guy drove the car, he went into the store, he came out, the car exploded. Now the question is, the owner of the car said, "Thank you very much for saving my life, Mr. Thief. I really send you a nice chocolate cake, you know. But $35,000, you have to pay me for the car." So the thief say, "Hey, look at this guy, his nerve. I saved his life. He wants $35,000. You have to give me $35 million for stealing your car." So who's right? He comes and say, "Well, it's not fair. What? I saved his life. He wants money. Anyway, I stole a car that was a finished car. It was a matter of time. There was a time bomb. X amount of time, this car is exploding. So what's the point? I don't understand. With or without me, the car is finished." He said, "I'm very sorry. At the minute you stole the car was worth $35,000. 10 minutes later, it was worth $0. It's like you stole it and the engine burned." Each one made his point. No, what do you say, Mr. Judges? Huh?
Belongs to you.
Who?
It's very hard to say. The way you say it, it belongs to the thief. The thief stole the car, and he saved his life. But the way you put things, like with the letter, so the judge is going to give it to the owner. He's going to say, "You're right. You have to get the money. 10 minutes ago, it was good. Then it wasn't good."
So now, let's see for a minute if you're right or wrong. I'll give you another case that is very similar, and you tell me based on that what's the verdict. Reuven has a big argument with Shimon. Shimon owns a store, and he has barrels of old wine, expensive wine. People used to buy wine by liter, 2 liter, whatever it is, from a barrel. It wasn't like today, beautiful bottles, it's all sealed. That's how it was. Real good handmade wine. So now, since he had a delegation with him, he hates him, he owes him money, whatever the case was, he come one time into his store with some bat, a baseball bat, whatever it was, and he started to smash all the barrels of wine, breaking them, and all the wine spilling all over. Made him a fortune damage. So, a few hours later, the whole store is full of wine. They started to wash, whatever they did. A few hours later, the IRS in Israel, Mas Achnasa, showed up. They have a warrant from the court. Rumor came to us that you smuggle alcohol and you never paid any Mas Achnasa on that. We don't see that you paid us ever for doing alcohol business in this place. You never declared that. So we came to see if it's true or not. So they went around, no alcohol, they couldn't find anything. So now, the next day, Shimon sued Reuven for the damage he made him. He said, you have to pay me for all the barrels. It's fortunate. He said, I saved you from going to jail, 10 years in prison for such thing. You want the money for the barrels? So he said, I'm very sorry, my friend. The minute you broke the barrel, this was their value. 4 hours later, yes, you're right, I was supposed to go to jail. Maybe they take it away from me. But when you broke it, they had a value. So, what was the verdict over there? What do you think?
The guy who broke the bottles, he's supposed to pay. Even though he said he was...
But technically, whatever he broke, anyway, in 2 hours would be confiscated by the police.
Talk to the IRS maybe, and he could give him a couple of dollars.
No, not to talk. Guaranteed, already, if they catch it, you finished. See, in Israel, you cannot talk to the IRS. All you have to do is begin to read Tehillim with tears. Hashem, have mercy that they won't crush me completely. Why? Over there, if you have a pizza store, just that you understand, they call themselves democracy, but it's really, really a communist country. You go to buy a pizza in Israel, and he doesn't know you're an agent for the Israeli IRS. They don't know who you are. You come with regular clothes, and you stand in a line, and he gives you 1 or 2 pizza with Coca-Cola, whatever it is, and now his eye is to see if you type it into the register. Because in Israel there's a rule. Every transaction in a store, it must be printed inside the cash register. If one day they audit you, they want to see all the rolls of every day's business. You have to keep them on record. So if you don't do it, then let's say you sold $2,000 worth of food, but you only type 500, if one day they catch and check, you only declare 500, when in reality you made 4 times more. What's the risk not to type it in? That if they catch you not doing it, they stand over there once or twice. You stand to see if you type it or not. If you see more than once you're not typing it in, right away he takes his badge, he puts handcuffs on you, he take away your roll from your register, and your business is gone. That's it, you finished. Not only that, now when they do not have proofs how much you did not pay, they don't know. So they make up a number, $400,000. A number, maybe you only took $4,000. They don't care. You have to give us $400,000. They begin negotiation with you. That's why a lot of Israelis ran to America and they cannot go back to Israel because of that. And once they do it, they give you a due date. And if you don't pay it, it begins to accumulate interest and penalty that 1,000 shekel, which is $300, can become 1,000,000 shekel within 2-3 years. 1,000 can become 1,000,000. It's revolving penalty and interest, worse than the Italian mafia. If you don't pay the Italian mafia $1,000, if they want, they make it $2,000 by the end of the month. Over there, forget about it. I have a cousin, he went bankrupt in the first Intifada because he was selling electronic to the Arabs. And then the army closed the area of the Arabs. You cannot go to collect your checks. Arabs don't know what mail is over there. They ride on their donkey. You think they know what mail is over there in Gaza? But today it changed. Today they have fancy places over there. But this is how it was 20 years ago. So he had a beautiful store in Israel, in a nice place in Tel Aviv. Very nice. Very, very soon, like in 2-3 years, he became very wealthy. He had few cars. He has full of electronic. All of a sudden, one time I came to see him, within a month, he did not have one black hair left on his head. I see you today, full black hair. A month later I came, I saw him, all white, completely. All white, not one black hair in 1 month. I said, wow, how can it be? You never believe such a thing. From what they did to him, these wicked people, they destroyed him mentally. This, you paid this, we took away this, we took away this. And he proved to them, it's not my fault, it's your fault. You closed the area, there's no way to get money. Nobody cares. You go to the army, let's say they call you on reserve. They can keep you there for months. There's a war, let's say. Your business go down, you get fired, whatever happens, they don't care. It's not our problem. Your obligation is first to the state. Then whatever happened to you happened. It's not here in America. You can come, you can file some papers. They give you some kind of compensation. You know, you prove you lost. No, they try to help at least. Nobody to talk to. So anyway, going back to our question, he smashed all the barrels. What's the halacha? What does he have to do? The answer is right, Isaac. He has to pay for all the barrels of wine, knowing the police came with them and they would take anyway everything. Since it did not happen yet, we are not prophets. We go by the moment. Right now you broke it, now you have to pay. What happened later, happened later. Maybe Mashiach would come by then. Maybe he didn't come after he smashed the barrels because of you. Mashiach saw what kind of Jews out there. He said, you know what, I turn around, I don't come. Right now you have to pay. Based on that, what's going to be the halacha in the first story? We already forgot the first story.
With the car.
With the car. Yeah, not with the bike. No? The thief has to pay for the car or no?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes. Absolutely.
He said no. I don't think it's the same. Why? Why not? Saying the right answer without providing an explanation in Judaism, it's exactly zero. It's not the American test. You put A, B, C, D. If you're lucky, you're lucky. In Israel, you don't have this. You have to answer a full answer.
Sold the car to make money out of it.
No?
And the car now is gone.
He sold the car, but what do I care what happened to him? I want to ask you a question. If a thief stole my watch, and then it fell from his hand and smashed to pieces, or a car went over it, and the police caught him, just that second the police saw, the watch was by him. He has to pay me for the watch or no?
Of course.
It's my fault that he knocked down the watch. This is the rule. Ganav, a thief, chayav be'onsim. If you are a keeper, if I'm giving you an object to keep, if I pay you money, that makes you very liable. If you do it as a favor, if somebody robbed you, or somebody broke the glass in your house and stole it from your drawer, you don't have to pay me. All you have to do is to swear that you did not break it on your own, or you did not lose it. Somebody broke into my house and stole it, I didn't have no way to do it, and you don't have to pay. But if I paid you money to watch, like storage, I don't care if somebody broke into your place, it's your problem. Put next time somebody with a gun. I'm paying you money for it, you have to watch my stuff. Now you're not doing me a favor, I hired you. Your liability become a lot higher. Now what's the rule according to a thief? I mean, based on someone who stole. A thief is a free keeper or a keeper that was hired to keep? What's his status?
Free keeper.
If he's a free keeper, if somebody stole it from the thief, let's say he stole the watch, he put it on his table, somebody broke into his house and stole it. You may think, oh, now he doesn't have to pay me because it's not his fault, somebody stole it from him. Where is the watch? It's not by me. No, my friend. You are not a shomer chinam. You're not doing me a favor watching the watch from me. You stole it from me. Then your liability is very high. If you lost it, if you broke it, whatever happened to it, you have to pay me. Same thing here. If the watch fell and a car went over it, it's not my problem. You still have to pay me a full amount of the watch. However, you are right. With the car, he doesn't have to pay. No, so it looks like a contradiction. So the answer is, the car at the time of the stealing was worth zero. True, in 15 minutes later it only became dust. But even at the time when there was a bomb underneath, its value was already zero. Why? If the owner of the car, the one that was supposed to die, would sell the car, and 2 hours later the car explodes, the one who bought the car will come to Beis Din and say, look, 2 hours before the explosion I bought the car from him. At the time of the buying, there was a bomb underneath, selling me a car with a bomb. So he come and say, I'm sorry, I didn't know there was a bomb. The judge said, we're not holding you as a crook, but you sold him garbage, sold him nothing. So at the time of the sale, right, the time of the sale, which means in our case is the time of the stealing, it was really worth zero. You understand the beauty of the Torah? That's why he has to pay back. Now he doesn't have to pay back for the car, nothing whatsoever. Saved his life, it didn't cost him anything. What happens if you run to save somebody that has a fire in his house and accidentally you broke a Chinese vase? I just heard today they found a Chinese vase. It was sold in an auction for how much? Some kind of art vase. Vase! Ceramic, whatever. How much it was? The world is full of fools. Cannot walk around without hitting them. Everywhere you go, it's an inflation. It's growing by the minute. $69 million for a vase. That's after a Jewish woman bought a statue that looks like garbage for $104 million. At least the vase look okay. If you look at the statue that she bought, it looks like the standard of this camera, much like this. Few skinny metal legs, some crooked head, one ear big, one ear small, eye like this, eye like this. It's named after some artist. $104 million. Now, another question. One guy in Israel, in Bet She'an, found a beautiful way to make money. He took a parrot, that the parrot is an artist. Everything he hears, he imitates. You come and say, Shabbat Shalom, right away. 100%. You make noises, you make sirens, everything he hears on the street, he repeats. So if a police pass by with siren, right away go sirens. So if one guy screams to his wife on the street, "You're annoying, be quiet already," all day that's what he screams. Now the neighbors in the building, 9 o'clock at night, the store is open, customers come to see the parrot. He makes fortune of business, but every time there is a siren, he makes sirens voice. An hour later, he's in a mood to make sirens. The neighbors are afraid. They think something happened, So the neighbors took him to court. They say, get rid of this parrot. You say, what? What am I doing? What? The parrot makes noise, my problem? If I have kids in my house and they make noise at 10 o'clock at night, can you tell me to put a tape on their mouth? Up to 11 o'clock, according to the law, they can do any noise they want, as long as it's reasonable. It's just things that it's way of life. Not talking about making a big party every night on your head. This is my kids, they make noise, that's it. So what do you think? He has to get rid of the parrot? Because if he gets rid of the parrot, it's $1 million less a year profit. So everyone comes to see the parrot, then they buy fish, they buy birds, they buy cats, They sell pet over there, pet shop. No, what's the answer? I already answered you the answer in a question, if you're sharp enough.
He gets to keep it.
Yeah, he gets to keep it.
He can keep it?
If that's a pet shop, he has to have that. In pet shop, they make noise.
He puts it on the street. If he would be in a store, nobody would hear him. There's a glass inside. The whole idea is to put his cage outside. First day I gave a lecture in a house. There was 2 parrots on my right. But they were quiet. They gave respect.
That's how he makes his money.
They gave respect.
But that's how he makes his money.
Who cares?
He has a pet by
If you decide to make money by shooting guns all night, I have to suffer. That's how he makes his money. What do I care?
That's how he makes his living.
I already answered you the answer. If it's ordinary, it's way of life. Something that's way of life. Everyone does it. Nobody. It's routine.
But until what time?
Then you cannot hold it against him. But if it's something out of the ordinary, nobody puts a bird in the middle of the street and makes noise of sirens and get heart attacks to all the neighbors every 10 minutes, So they force him to get rid of it, of the parrot. Now, a story like this you didn't hear before. That's a better one. What is it? One rich guy, a collector for a hospital. They're building a hospital. This story here in America. A collector for a hospital knock on his door in his office. Mr. X, I want you to help me. We're building a hospital. Here is the papers. And I'm a representative from the hospital. Please give me a donation. Tax deductible. One day you have patients in your family They'll have a special VIP room over there, treatment. They know how to sell the hospital. Just by the way, you should know that donating to a hospital is a very, very foolish donation. Very foolish donation. Because to save life of people, it's mitzvah, right? To save life. First, is nothing compared to save their soul. To save their soul is much more important than to save their body. But second, even if to save the body was just as important as to save the soul, depend which body. The body of Arav Ovadia Yosef or the body of Yasser Arafat? Who do you want to save with your money? If they ask you, who do you want to save? You say, I want to save holy people. I want to save honest people. I want to save people that are not criminals. I want to save good fathers. I want to save good husbands. I want to save, generous people. That's what I want. I don't want to save a terrorist from Al-Qaeda that had an accident and now they're going to take care of him with my donation in the building that I built. With him, I would bury him alive if I can. I want to give him my money for the hospital to save his life, this terrorist. So you have no control on your donation. You give it to the hospital, $1 million. They call the section Mr. This Cohen and his wife. Usually in a hospital they have all the pictures of all the fools who donate all these millions. And now they're already in wherever they are in Olam Haba, and they kill themselves when they see who gets treatment with their money. Believe me, they kill themselves. The enemies of their nation, people who did bad to their children or grandchildren, they also get treatment over there. Right? Let me ask you a question. If a city doesn't have yeshiva and does not have a hospital, and there is $1 million was raised from the people, it's enough either to build a yeshiva or to build a hospital. What's the obligations? To build the yeshiva or to build a hospital?
Yeshiva. Yeshiva is saving somebody life.
I'll give you a hint. If you sit and learn Gemara and you see someone is drowning in a lake, do you have to close your Gemara and try and save his life, or you let him die as long as you don't close the Torah and don't stop your learning?
That's who it is.
No, you gotta learn.
You gotta go save him no
Because
matter
the guy's
what.
gonna come and
You have to go and save him, but you should know that you got punished by Hashem. If you're the one who saw it and had to close the Gemara and go and pick him up, then Hashem is not 100% satisfied from your learning. Maybe it's too much cigarette, coffee, telephone breaks, on and off, you're talking in the middle politics. Hashem say, your Torah is not pure. I'm giving you a sign that I'm getting you up in the middle of the learning and get you disturbed. You should know I'm not 100% happy from your Torah. Because the people are learning 100% for the sake of heaven. I make sure that they don't get disturbed by anything. You got up, I gave you a gift, a candy. I gave you $1 and you lost $1 million. The time that you had to waste by running and get him out, and then you're all wet, you cannot go back to learn, you have to go change your clothes. 2 hours of Torah, you lost millions of dollars of mitzvot. Every letter is mitzvah. And in the end, you made one mitzvah. So based on that, what comes first? Hospital or yeshiva?
Yeshiva.
No, based on that, hospital. If you see someone drowning, you have to save his body, even though you're busy with Torah. That means to save the life of a people is more important than the Torah, no? It comes first, not more important. It comes first. Priorities right now comes first. Then you go right back to the Torah. So they asked this question. I believe the question was to the Chazon Ish, was a Gdol Hador of the previous generation. He said, build yeshiva. Saying that according to the Torah, you have to build a hospital. But he said to them, use the money for yeshiva. And they asked him, why, Rabbi? It's the opposite of the halacha. He said, for a hospital, there's plenty of fools standing online to donate. But to donate to Torah, once in a while you find somebody tzaddik that wants to donate to Torah. It's very difficult to get. You put an ad in the newspaper, we need a hospital, there's no hospital here in town. They stand online to donate. Right? Everybody understands hospital is saving life. Most people don't appreciate the Torah of Hashem. What do they care? People learn Torah or not? Look in Israel, how much they fight against the Torah every day. Look, that the people who learn Torah get 1,000 shekel, $300, not even, 250. They all demonstrate, don't give them, let their children starve. What do I care that he learns? It's not my problem. Well, they don't appreciate the Torah. You tell them we give it to hospitals, nobody make a beep. So the government will give every patient 1,000 shekel that he goes to the hospital. We help the patients, nobody makes a beep. We help people who learn Torah, they cannot stand it. So here you go. So this Meshulach, this collector, come to this rich guy, and he said, okay, he writes a check for $1,000. The collector, he said, I'm not even reaching my arm to pick this check up. You're insulting me? Giving me $1,000? If I have to collect $1,000 from every wealthy guy, the hospital will be built in the next century. Add some zeros to it. That's how he talks to me. So he said, okay, I'll give you 3,000. No, I'm sorry. Minimum 10,000, minimum. If not, I don't leave your office. He said, you don't want all the people, when we make the dinner, to know that you didn't want to help. So he said, okay, 5,000, but leave me alone, no more. He said, no, 10, it's my word. 10, don't upset me. Give me 10. We need a hospital. We don't have time here. The city needs a hospital. So the guy said, you know what? You're a good collector. He writes him a check, $90,000. This is a true story that happens here in America. The collector I see you're a wise guy. You're playing tricks with me, 3,000, 5,000, in the end you're writing 90,000. Very good. Very good. No. Very good. So what happened now? He comes to the bank. He said, I want to verify funds. They told him, no, there's no, I'm sorry, the check was for $100,000. $100,000. They said, no, the funds are not available. He goes out. He comes back after an hour to a different teller. He say, I have a check at my house from this. He writes down the bank information for $90,000. Before I go and get the check, I just want you to tell me if the funds are available. 90,000. They say to him, yeah, the funds are barely, but available. He runs quickly home. He gets $10,000 cash from his money. He runs to his account. He makes a deposit. $10,000 cash. After that, he goes out of the bank. He comes back after 20 minutes. It's lots of teller, big, massive bank. Again, he put the check in. The check went through. This rich guy, he gave him the money to get rid of him. He didn't really want to give him $100,000. But I said, this guy doesn't leave me alone. Let me give him $100,000 and never see him again. I'll never let him come into my office. The security already know who not to let in. But he fooled him. The rich guy saw his account as zero balance. He went crazy. He took him to Beis Din, to court. This is here. In the meantime, this crook, what did he do? He collected a lot of checks, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, 10,000. He has a lot of checks, all together $100,000. This besides the 100 that he cashed. So he went to the mayor of New York. He told the mayor, listen, I have all these checks. Look, 500, 1,000, 1,500, 1,200. It's too many checks. Why don't I give you all the checks, and I want you to give me a check instead of that for $100,000 for all the amount of the checks. Now the mayor look at the names of the check. It's all important people, the top community. He said, okay. He writes him a check from the city of New York. After all, he's collecting for a hospital. The city of New York needs the hospital. He gives him a check for $100,000, and he takes all the small checks instead. Only replaced with him. The crook takes the check, and now he goes to the real sharks, to all the wealthy people. What, you giving me $3,000? You're not embarrassed, man? The mayor gave me a donation for $100,000. The mayor, look, shows everyone the check of the mayor. If the mayor wouldn't want this, now you know that it's very important to the mayor. I'm going to put you in a list that you help. One day you need favors from the mayor, no? Right away, he collected in one day another $100,000. By the time he cashed all the checks, he stole all the money and left the country. All the money never went to the hospital. Now everybody sues the mayor. So you are part of the scam. They said to the mayor, what, you give him a check for $100,000, he come wave with a check, based on your word, I gave him money. The mayor say, well, he tricked me, the same thing he tricked you. It's not my fault. They say, I don't care your fault, not your fault. You are the reason why we lost all this money. He stole the money, there's no hospital. You have to return the money. What do you think? What's the rule? If a person did something that he had no idea that this is a scam or a trick, it wasn't in his hand. He's not reading in the stars what's going on here. Somebody fooled him, even though it was very foolish of him, it's very naive, it's very stupid, whatever you want to call it, but it wasn't anything intentional, even though technically he became a part of the scam. Based on what he did, they take advantage on it, but he's not guilty of anything. Why? Because he never had bad intention. Sometimes in the Torah, even if you don't have bad intentions, you get punished. Still have to pay. If you play with the ball and you broke my glass, you never had intention to break it, still 100% guilty. Why? You took it to consideration. There's always a chance that the ball will break something. Everyone knows it. You drive a car, you know you can hit somebody, it can happen. So it's in your subconscious, you're aware of it. But to have this kind of scenario that he's asking you to replace the checks and he's going to go and scam people, there's no way for you to ever suspect such a thing. That's why you're 100% innocent. Now, a person that has manic depression, it's very, very common in everywhere you go today, even in our community. What does it mean, manic depression? People who once in a while get an attack. Before they get the attack, they become very hyper. They talk, they dance, they hug everyone, they cannot stop. Boom, then they collapse. Then when they collapse, everyone reacts different. Some people just fall into bed for 2-3 days, like cocaine addicts, after they were hyper, so then they sleep 2 days. And some people, they can be very dangerous to society. They can drive a car like crazy, they can hit people, they can go on the sidewalk. The police has to catch them, put handcuffs on them. What's the solution? That they have to take medication. What is the manic depression? It's not what you think depression, that you need Prozac. No, it's not this kind of depression. It's problem with the balance of the chemicals in the brain. The brain produces some kind of chemicals. And balance a person, where to be happy, where to be a little bit down. It balances everything. This is some kind of chemical in the brain. They have a problem with this chemical. The brain doesn't produce it correctly. And that's what brings them to talk all kinds of things. Now they speak a lot of nonsense. My mother wants to kill me. She's wicked. You don't know what my mother did to me. She was killing me. She did this to me. My father is a crook. It's all baloney. Later when they come back to reality, you see their parents is the nicest people in the world. It's something in the brain that they have no control of. The question is, a person they hate to take the medication. Why? Because it makes them very slow. When they take the medication, they always look like they just woke up after sleeping 20 hours. They speak slow, they move their eyes slow, they even walk slow. Everything they do is slow. So they hate the medication. Life is not great with this. But that's the only way to protect people from them. Many of them don't take the medication and then they hospitalize them. When they hospitalize them, they take away everything they have, their shoelaces, ties, everything. They lock them like a prison in a hospital. They have right one here in Jamaica in Van Wyck, the Jamaica hospital. They have a section over there. And I used to go visit people like this. That's why I tell you, I know the whole story from the beginning of speaking to the doctors and investigated to see what makes such nice people. And it could be the most righteous person. But when he has this attack, it can be a most dangerous person. You don't know what he's going to do. He can beat you up. He can do all crazy things. He can walk in the middle of the night. Who knows? You don't know what to expect. So, the question is, a person that got this attack made a damage. He took someone's car without permission and smashed it. Totaled the car. They take him now, after he came back to reality. They sue him for the car. Hey, my friend, $20,000, you have to pay. So no, I'm not guilty. It wasn't under my control. You think I have a control on my brain? What's going to happen? It wasn't my fault. It's like somebody took over my brain and moved me with a remote control. You can hold me as a murderer? So what's the answer? Yes, you are a murderer. You are making damages. Why? If you would take your medication, it wouldn't happen. So it's like a person that becomes drunk. He drinks a lot and then he go and kill someone. According to the Jewish law, he's 100% murderer. Even though when he murdered, he didn't know what he's doing. The fact that you got so drunk that you lost control on your life, or you used some kind of drugs that caused you hallucinations, you are 100% guilty. Everything you did, you're 100% guilty. You cannot hide behind that claim, I was not thinking what I'm doing, I couldn't think, because I was very drunk. So what's the answer? Is it the same thing like being drugged, or no? What do you think? Is it the same thing like being drunk? By not taking his medication, he's losing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Can he come and make the same claim or not? The answer is no. Why? Because a person that drinks is a criminal. As soon as he begins to drink, he's a criminal. Why? Because he's knowing it's a matter of 10-20 minutes until he's going to start saying nonsense and drive and walk crooked. You know, they took one driver, the police. Hey, come on, no, they have a line. They want you to walk on line. So the police say to the guy, okay, you said that you had only one beard, so I want you to walk on the line. He say, you police are tricking me. Why you make all the lines so crooked? It's not fair. It's supposed to be straight. One time I drove on a Palisades Parkway. I was driving, 60, 70 miles an hour going north. And you have, the highway goes all the way upstate. You have 2 lanes on one side, and you have trees, and then you have 2 lanes on the other side, going south. All of a sudden, 2 o'clock at night, I see a car coming in front of me, towards me. Full speed! And in the wrong direction. A guy, you don't know what to do. In the last minute, I moved to the other lane. 1 more second, there was and I had a big rabbi sitting in my back. I was giving him a ride to Monsey. He didn't even realize what's happening because he's not from America. In Israel, you have highways like this, 1 lane go like this, 1 lane go like this. So he thought, maybe, he went by mistake to our lane. He didn't understand what happened. Baruch Hashem, I was not dreaming. Imagine another second you dream, you'll see all of a sudden lights in front of you coming out of the curve. But there's a lot of drunk people here. Whenever you drive, even if you're a perfect driver, you have to assume that every person around you is either a drug addict or is under influence of alcohol. Because for every 10 people, you have 2 or 3 like this that are driving here. They're under medication, there are all kinds of things. I'm telling you, they drank, they just had a lunch, they drank a glass of wine, they lose control. So a person that becomes drunk, why is guilty of everything he's doing? Because he's a criminal. You put yourself in this situation, now whatever happened, it's your fault. And you know it, and that's it. Over here comes this patient, and he says, I'm sorry, you cannot force me to go and make myself healthy. I'm not a criminal. I have a curse from God. He gave me this punishment. I'm sick. Once in a while I get this attack. You telling me why you don't take medication? Where in the world you can force the patient to become healthy? Cannot force me. That's what he claims. No, what's going to be the law? Isaac. I gave you, your head is spinning, I see. Huh? We're almost done, don't worry.
It's confusing.
No, what do you say, Levi?
I think if he knows that he has this problem, it's his responsibility to make sure he's sane.
He doesn't have responsibility.
So the answer is, he's responsible, like you said. Why? Why? If a person has flu and he doesn't want to be healthy, sleep in your bed for 2 days, and that's your problem, it's not my problem. A person has any kind of sickness, God forbid, like cancer. He doesn't want to take care of himself. He wants to die. Doesn't want chemo.
It happens all of a sudden.
He doesn't want chemo. I cannot force him by law of the Torah to go and take care of himself. Even people who have a transistor in their heart, that every time they have an attack, it automatically opens their the veins or whatever they do inside, whatever they have inside the heart, they have all kinds of devices that opens and close automatically in times of attack. Sometimes they get tired of this kind of life and they come to the doctor and they say, shut it off. Make this device does not work. Take the battery out. It's hard to take it out. So I don't want to treat it. I don't want to maintain this device. The next attack I will have, I want to die. I don't want this transistor to help me, whatever it does inside. So the doctor doesn't have permission to do anything with his hand to help him to die. But over here, it doesn't really help him to die. Because right now, when he eliminates this device, he still continues to be alive. In 2 or 3 weeks, he's going to get an attack. That's where he's going to die. So how does he die? Nature. He has a defect in his body. 2 weeks from now, he gets a heart attack. And that device doesn't work because they eliminate it. So that's not calling that we killed him. However, according to the Torah, it's still not permitted. It's called Messiah. It's helping a person to kill.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
You're not a murderer, but it's like driving a murderer to murder someone. You say, hey, with or without me, he would go there. He needs me. I'm the only cab driver. But you're still guilty. All these Arabs that drive the terrorists for this suicide bombing, when they caught them, they got 15 years in prison. All of them had the same claim. Your Honor, what do you want from me? I only drove this Mustafa to Dizengoff to blow up the restaurant. What do you want from me? What, without me, you wouldn't get a driver? I'm the only driver in. I only wanted to make this $1,000. That's all. They offer me from Gaza to Israel to put him in my trunk to take him. With or without me, you would get there. True, but you're still a part of the murder. That's what many people say. Like people say, can I invite guests for Shabbos, knowing they're coming with a car? It's a famous question. The answer is no, unless if you offer them a place to stay. If you tell them I have a room for you, and they come on their own and live on their own, that's their problem, not yours. Because you did everything you can to eliminate the Chilul Shabbos. Now they are 100% guilty on their own, not without you. But if you have a tiny apartment and there's no place to stay, and you invite them for Shabbos dinner, you know they have to go. They have to go to the car and leave. You become a part of the crime. So now you come and say, hey, big deal. Without me, they'll go to the movie. They'll drive somewhere, to a restaurant. They still drive the car. They'll be in their home. They turn the television on, press the remote 500 times. Every time is Chilul Shabbat. They need me to do Chilul Shabbat.
What if you invite somebody and you think that they're going to walk to your house because they live literally 5 blocks away?
Then it's not your fault. If they live 5 minutes away, it's their fault. Because they can walk and come back. I'm saying when you give them really no option, you invited them and they have to go, they have to leave. Where are they going to stay? In the street? Then you become a part of it. So this is it. So everything has an answer. Now before we finish, I want to tell you something that happened. There's an old age place in London for old people, fancy place. They put old people that are retired, they very wealthy. So, they send them over there to retire there and to die there. So, one time, a person gets a phone call from this hospital, the principal there, the head of the hospital. Are you Mr. Such and Such? Yes. He says, we're very sorry to tell you that your mother passed away today. He's a Jew now. So he heard that, religious Jew. He said, what happened to her? Yeah, she had an attack, she died. So, thank you for calling, goodbye. He ripped his shirt, sits on the floor, begin to sit Shiva. 2 days after he sits Shiva, the whole family in the house. Imagine if it's Bukharian, forget about it. Catering in and out. Bukharian, your side is like a wedding by other people. For your side, $3,000 food for 50 beer. They give respect to the deceased people. Nowhere you find such a thing. Yeah, you have your side here and there. People put some drinks, some cakes. They put some over here. Mamash, you come like if you feel you come for a wedding. Such a table, fancy, 5 kinds of food. Big respect. They don't do it just to do it. They do it out of respect. So, anyway, this guy sitting Shiva now, his whole family, neighbors, bringing food. All of a sudden, you get a phone call. He picks up the phone. Hello? What kind of son you are? You forgot about your mother? 1 week I did not hear from you anything. You're laughing. This story I read in a book. But when I was a kid his age, this story happened in my own family. Not literally family, but just like family. My parents has friends that they grew up with them since they teenage. They grew up with them. They got married. It's like family. They come every week. They go to them. They sit together in a wedding. Good friends. The wife, she has a brother. His name, what was his name? His nickname used to be Speedy, because he's hyper, speed. He's on speed. That's why they used to call him Speedy. His first name was Tzvika. I forgot his last name. I don't remember it. I'm talking to you more than 30 years ago. So what happened is, when he used to come to us, when they were make parties, his voice was very hoarse. The way he talks is very funny. As a kid, I was always wondering why he speaks like this. Never heard anyone speak like this. One time I asked my father, why is he speaking like this? He said, he got wounded in a war with Egypt in 1967. You never heard the story. Now my father began to tell me the story. Listen to this. I think his last name was Hadar. I'm not sure. But whatever his last name is not relevant. One time he was driving, with jeeps in the middle of the war towards Egypt somewhere in the desert there. And there was an attack on his group. Many soldiers got hurt. And they took them to the hospital. So he was in a hospital. After a few days, nobody knew. It was in the middle of the war. Nobody knew he was hospitalized. Then his sister, her name is Siona, she gets a phone call. We're very sorry to tell you that your brother died. He got injured and he died. That's it. He's few days in hospital. He's dead. We need you to come, you or your husband, to recognize him, to identify him. So they went. You're all upset, but I'm laughing because the story is really funny. Wait. So they went. She went. Until this day, she hates her husband for one reason. For that day, she went with her husband to the hospital. They brought him to a special room, like the refrigerator room there. They have drawers over there. They take the bodies out. So he's such a coward. So they told him, tell us if this is Tzvika, your brother-in-law. So he went like this. Yeah, it's him. He's afraid to look. Yeah, it's him. So they made a funeral. They took him the next day and they buried him. Sounds like a movie, huh? 100% legit. I'm giving you the names. You can go and check. People are still alive, all of them. So they made a funeral. They begin to sing Shiva now. In the middle of the Shiva, the house is 150 people there. They're serving rice, chickens, this. He shows up with his uniform into the house. 150 people started to scream. This Tziona fainted. They bring water. The story out of this world. He said, what is this? Nobody cares. I was in the hospital for a few days. No. Nobody come to visit me. What kind of family I have? We thought you dead. What happened? The same day he was hospitalized, there was the same person, same age, also in the same hospital. Same age. And the other person died. And when they called them, they identified him, so they took his body with the Chevrat Kadisha and buried him. The other family didn't know, Bichlal, that their son is dead. He's married already. So that's why they call him, he came back to life, but he lost his voice. He got injured, so he had some surgery in his throat. Since there, he's very hoarse. So until this day, the wife lost all her respect for her husband, for him, because once in a while she used to tell him in front of everyone, be quiet, you fool! Because of you, I said Shiva on my brother! Right away, silence. So anyway, this is now a story from the book. So he gets a phone call from his mother. You're not coming to visit. What's going on here? Mom, we're sitting Shiva on you. No, it's not me. It's a mistake. They made a mistake in the papers over there. No. So now they had to call the real kids of that woman that really died. In the meantime, she was buried. They made her a funeral, a Jewish funeral, because she was a Jewish religious woman. You know? In the meantime, she's alive. They buried a different woman. So now when they found out who is the son of this woman, the head of the hospital is calling him. He's all nervous. Who knows what the lawsuit is going to be now? We didn't tell them we buried their mother without permission, nothing. So he called him up. He says, sir, on you such and such, we are very sorry to tell you that your mother passed away. You see, the person on the other line don't care even. He said, oh yeah? Okay, just bury her, just burn her body, and send me by UPS, send me her ashes, tell me the bill, I'll pay you for the expenses, and please don't bother me with that. Just do what I... So he said, sir, this is why I'm calling. It's a misunderstanding here. We already buried her. We didn't know, he doesn't know what to say. We didn't locate you. So the guy said, ay, that's bad news. You bury her already? Yeah, we bury her in a Jewish religious ceremony. He said, she won. She won. He said, she won. So the guy said, what do you mean she won? He gets angry on the phone. She won. She won. She always wins. She always gets what she wants. He gets angry and he hangs up the phone. This guy is very curious now. He waited a few days, call him up again. Sir, I'm not calling for any money, don't worry, but what do you mean she won? He said, I used to be a Jew. And then I became Christian. And I'm working for the church now. He's some kind of cardinal, whatever he is. My mother was a religious Jewish woman. She always begged me to come back. And I told her, not only I don't come back, when you die, I'm going to burn your body and take your ashes and spread it all over the water. I'll never let you be buried like you want. You wait and see, because he hated her. They hate each other after what happened. So she said, no, it will never happen. I'm going to be buried like a Jewish woman. As the Torah says, you have to be buried. Your body has to go to the ground, not to burn it. So he said, it's not in your hand. I'm going to be the one who takes care of it. Believe me, I'll make sure I do it my way, like we do it. So the only way she could get her burial was through that mistake. That's why he was going crazy. She won. In the end, she got buried in a Jewish ceremony. You understand? When Hashem wants something, nobody can help. That's it. That's when Hashem makes a decision. You can do whatever you want. It's not going to change anything. Thank you very much. Now I want to make an announcement. The next 2 Mondays I'm not going to be here. I'm going to Europe, and then from there I go to Israel. Next 2 Mondays there's no lecture. I have tomorrow a lecture by Rabbi Chaim of Shul down there in a hall, in a basement there. And Wednesday I have a lecture in a shul in 77th Avenue in Main Street over there. And that's it. Thursday I'm leaving. So if you want to catch the lectures tomorrow and Wednesday, that's it. The next time we'll meet will be in 3 weeks. Bezrat Hashem, you'll be in touch with Levi, he'll let you know. Thank you very much.